Polar bear versus great white shark, the ultimate clash of Arctic and ocean predators. In the remote, icy waters near the Arctic Circle, where survival depends on strength, skill, and strategy, two apex predators could potentially meet in a confrontation unlike any other: the polar bear, ruler of the ice, and the great white shark, the ocean's most feared hunter. Though their worlds rarely intersect, changing climates and melting sea ice raise the question: what would happen if these two titans clashed in the frigid seas of the north? Who would have the upper hand when sheer power, razor-sharp teeth, and deadly claws collide? To understand this epic showdown, we need to examine the environments that shape these predators. The polar bear spends most of its life on the Arctic sea ice, hunting seals and swimming vast distances between ice floes. As climate change reduces the amount of sea ice, polar bears are forced to swim longer distances, sometimes venturing into deeper waters. While polar bears are strong swimmers, capable of covering more than 60 miles without rest, the open ocean is not their natural hunting ground. In contrast, the great white shark is the apex predator of the ocean, thriving in coastal and offshore waters across the globe. Though rare in Arctic waters, the warming seas have pushed these sharks further north than ever before. The great white dominates its environment with speed, power, and precision, relying on its ability to detect prey from great distances and attack with incredible force. In the water, no other predator matches its hunting efficiency. When it comes to weapons, the differences between these two giants are stark. The great white shark's primary weapon is its incredible bite force, estimated at over 4.000 pounds per square inch. Its rows of serrated teeth, each capable of slicing through flesh and bone, make it a formidable hunter, with speeds reaching up to 35 miles per hour during short bursts. The shark relies on ambush tactics, attacking from below with devastating impact before its prey even senses danger. The polar bear, on the other hand, wields sharp claws capable of tearing through seal hides and a bite force of around 1.200 pounds per square inch. Strong enough to crush bones. But what truly sets the bear apart is its mobility on ice and its ability to use the environment as a shield. The polar bear's massive forelimbs make it a powerful swimmer, while its claws provide traction on slippery ice. If it can climb onto a floe or solid ice, the bear gains an advantage that the shark cannot match. Let's imagine a hypothetical encounter: a polar bear swimming between ice floes, searching for a place to rest. Below the surface, a great white shark patrols the waters, its senses picking up the vibrations of the bear's powerful strokes. The shark approaches cautiously, recognizing the size of its potential prey. For the shark, this is unfamiliar territory. Its usual prey doesn't climb onto ice or fight back with claws. The first strike is critical. The great white shark relies on surprise. A sudden, powerful attack from below, targeting the bear's hindquarters or torso, could cause severe injury. If the shark's bite lands cleanly, the polar bear could be dragged under, where it would be at a severe disadvantage. In deep water, the shark's superior speed and maneuverability would likely give it the upper hand. However, the polar bear is no easy target. If the shark misses its initial strike or fails to incapacitate the bear immediately, the tables could turn. Polar bears are known for their incredible resilience and ability to fight back fiercely when threatened. Should the bear manage to reach an ice floe, it could attempt to claw at the shark's head or gills, some of the shark's most vulnerable areas, if the shark ventures too close to the surface. The polar bear's ability to leverage the environment is its greatest strength in this encounter. Unlike the shark, the bear can transition between water and ice. If the shark attempts a second strike but gets too close to the surface, the bear could counterattack with powerful swipes, potentially injuring the shark. The shark's tough skin offers some protection, but the bear's claws and powerful forelimbs are capable of inflicting serious damage, especially if aimed at the shark's sensitive snout or eyes. But what happens if the encounter takes place entirely in the water, far from any ice floe? In this case, the great white shark holds a clear advantage. The shark's speed and ability to strike from below are nearly impossible for the polar bear to counter effectively. The bear's swimming speed, while impressive, cannot match the shark's bursts of 35 miles per hour. Additionally, polar bears lack the streamlined bodies necessary for rapid underwater maneuvering, making them vulnerable to repeated ambushes from the shark. If the bear is caught off guard or attacked from below, the shark could deliver a fatal bite, dragging the bear beneath the surface and ending the encounter quickly. The polar bear's best hope in deep water is to reach the surface and escape onto ice, where it regains control. On the other hand, if the encounter happens near an ice shelf, where the bear can easily climb out of the water, the polar bear would likely have the upper hand. In this scenario, the shark's strength is neutralized, as it cannot pursue the bear onto land or ice. Should the shark attempt to breach or come too close to the ice's edge, the bear could counter with devastating claw swipes, targeting the shark's head. This could result in serious injury or even death for the shark if it sustains damage to its gills or eyes, areas where sharks are particularly vulnerable. Additionally, the shark's breathing requirements come into play. While sharks do not have lungs, they rely on constant movement to force water over their gills for oxygen. If a shark were to sustain injuries that impair its ability to swim effectively, it could suffocate. The polar bear's best strategy, therefore, would be to inflict mobility-impairing injuries, forcing the shark into exhaustion or suffocation. But what if the great white shark uses a breaching strategy? In certain parts of the world, great white sharks are known for launching themselves completely out of the water while hunting seals. If a similar approach were used against the polar bear, the shark could attempt a high-speed breach, aiming to catch the bear before it reaches the ice. However, this strategy is risky. If the shark miscalculates, it could leave itself exposed and vulnerable to a counterattack. In this scenario, timing becomes everything. If the shark's breach is successful, it could inflict fatal damage. But if the bear reacts quickly, it could deliver a crushing blow with its claws, potentially injuring the shark's head or gills. When considering endurance and adaptability, both animals are well suited for cold environments. The polar bear's thick fur and 4-inch layer of blubber provide insulation and buoyancy, allowing it to survive for hours in freezing water. The great white shark, though lacking blubber, is endothermic, meaning it can regulate its body temperature, allowing it to operate effectively in cold waters. However, the polar bear's ability to rest on ice gives it a critical edge. While the shark must keep swimming, the bear can recover energy and avoid prolonged exposure to the shark's attacks. In a battle of endurance, the bear's access to ice would likely tilt the odds in its favor. In the end, the outcome of a polar bear versus great white shark confrontation comes down to location, timing, and strategy. If the battle takes place entirely in open water, the great white shark's speed, power, and devastating bite would likely overwhelm the polar bear. The shark's ability to deliver lethal strikes from below would give it a clear advantage, as the bear would struggle to defend itself underwater. However, if the encounter happens near ice, where the polar bear can climb to safety, the bear gains the upper hand. The shark's inability to operate on ice or land neutralizes its primary advantage. The bear's powerful claws, combined with its strategic use of the environment, could allow it to inflict fatal injuries should the shark venture too close to the surface. This hypothetical battle between two apex predators, one mastering the ice, the other ruling the ocean, demonstrates the importance of environment and adaptability in the natural world. The polar bear's strength, intelligence, and mobility on ice make it a dominant force in its habitat. Meanwhile, the great white shark's speed, bite force, and underwater precision make it the ultimate hunter of the sea. In the Arctic's ever-changing landscape, where ice meets ocean, such encounters could become more plausible. The result would not only showcase the raw power of nature's greatest predators but also highlight the delicate balance between adaptation, survival, and dominance in one of the world's harshest environments.